Welcome back to Forza Horizon 4, guys, and that is a phrase that I have not said in a really long time, but I'm happy to be saying it today because I want to give a big thanks to the people over at Xbox for allowing me to check out the new Super7 mode, and I'm going to be explaining to you guys in this video what this mode is all about, but just know that it revolves around user-created challenges and all sorts of crazy new things that you can do, including making tracks and jumps and all sorts of new courses. We're going to be showing a skate park in this video, a gigantic jump in this video, and without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the rest of it, and I will go ahead and explain everything along the way. Hope you all stick around and carry on with me. So what exactly is Super7? Well, Super7 is a series of 7 random user-created challenges that if you play through all of them, and of course beat all of them, then you will be granted a reward at the end, usually in the form of either wheel spins or credits. Now, the cool thing about Super7 is that, like I said before, all of these challenges are community-generated and community-created. So, as you can see in this one with the Mini, for example, we actually had to run a Gymkhana course throughout the train station between all of these different containers, shipping containers, that the creator had placed throughout the map. Now, the interesting thing about this is that these Super7 challenges can basically be anything from time to drift points to all sorts of different things. Jump distance, or for example, number of barrel rolls completed. There are also levels to gain within Super7, and you gain wheel spins and of course different amounts of in-game credits as you go up through the ranks. Now, the challenge cards themselves, like I said before, as you go through Super7, you can either accept or refuse a given challenge, and when you refuse a challenge, it will randomize again to see if you are interested in the next one. Now, one of the coolest things is the element of placing all of these different items. Think almost Halo Forge levels of item placement and levels of, map customization. So say, for example, in this challenge, Dino Safari, you legitimately make a run through a roller coaster style course that has dinosaurs all over the place, that in some areas are actually obstacles that you must avoid so you don't run into them and actually, end up going off the course or not being able to beat the time. Now, these challenges can be tricky, as you can see right here. And a lot of these, you can tell that a lot of the creators have put these little, challenging spots into these different events, which actually legitimately make them more fun and make them more engaging to play through. Now, let's take a quick break from the Super7 challenges real quick to actually go into a challenge card that I selected specifically, which you can do. You can sort them by, say, for example, Editor's Choice or Popular this month, and this one is called Huge Skatepark, and it genuinely lives up to that name. And as you can see in the background, as the description literally says, there's loops, half pipes, giant ramps, all sorts of things all over the place. And then they literally start you off right here in front of an actual half pipe, which is something that I never thought that I would see in Forza Horizon 4, but the fact that we have it, oh my god, bro, it's so freaking cool. Now, the interesting thing about what they've done here is instead of giving you a time limit with which to complete the challenge, they've given you a very loose time limit of 30 minutes, so you pretty much have a half an hour to hang out in this user-created skate park and do just about whatever you want with this F9 buggy. Now, the vehicle that you will use for this is pre-selected for you by the challenge creator, but the cool thing about it is if you want to make one of these yourself, you can actually select the vehicle for yourself, and then you can share that challenge with the community after you have placed all of your items and selected a vehicle and chosen a course and selected a time limit and things like that. Now, going around and bouncing around through this skate park is all well and good, but I'm sure you guys are staring at that super long jump over there, which, make no mistake, we will get to a little bit later in the video, but I did want to actually see if I could get a good run sort of back and forth in that half pipe, which I almost did, and then ended up flying outside of the half pipe, and then actually got a really good run going at it for a little while here. That one was probably the only actual perfect rotation that I did. This one was a little bit more sloppy and ended up kind of in an unintentional drift, but I kind of took that as a signal to go explore some other areas. And also, at this point in the video, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. What would you build, or what are you hoping to see built using all of these new tools in Horizon 4? I think it's one of the best things that could have happened to this game in terms of user-generated content. I mean, we know that user-generated content is extremely popular in this game in the forms of tuning and painting and things like that, but this takes it to a whole nother level. And when you look at what is on offer here, I am sure that we will see people creating everything from crazy gymkhana courses to maybe even recreating some Hot Wheels tracks. I was getting mad Hot Wheels vibes, Horizon 3 Hot Wheels vibes while I was playing through this. And if you guys are getting those same vibes, let me know down in the comment section below. Now, another interesting thing about this is, as I played through this, I was like, how much can I challenge myself? How much can I challenge myself to go even higher and even higher and even higher on this sort of, you know, it's almost like a big, like, donut circle. It's weird, but as you can see, you can basically drive upside down if you get enough momentum up and you get enough speed up, which there's actually a pipe on this same map that you can actually pretty much do endless loops in if you can keep yourself in the pipe. And one thing I will say for sure is that doing something like this in first-person view feels so incredibly weird, but not in a bad way. More in the way of, like, I have never experienced something like this before, and the fact that we have the ability to experience this in Horizon 4 is absolutely incredibly wild. And then stylish little wheelie on the exit just to, you know, give it a little flair. And now we are going to go ahead and attempt the ramp. Now, I believe that this ramp is genuinely the biggest, longest, highest ramp I have ever seen in Horizon 4, and feel free to correct me on that in the comment section down below if you know of one that is actually higher, or if you know of a ramp that is higher. I would love to know in the comment section down below. Like I said, I'm opening that topic of discussion up to you guys, and I would absolutely love to talk about that with y'all in the comments. But let's go ahead and get it up this ramp. And as you can see, it just goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on, and then boom, you are basically a airplane. Like, literally, you're basically just soaring through the air at this point. And I would like to personally challenge myself to try to make it, like, to the other side of the highway, but I believe all you'd really have to do for that is just back up a little further and get an even bigger run-up. And then on a course like this, that is designed to be a little bit more just sort of open and free-flowing, you can just say, oh, I'm done now. I can just go to the finish line. And the cool thing about that is that you still get credit for completing it if you do it that way. So it's a really, really cool way to design some really interesting challenges for sure. Now, on to a challenge that actually challenged me a lot. Like, this thing was, in my opinion, like, I probably made it more difficult than it had to be, but knowing DJ Lime and knowing some of the challenges that he comes up with, going into this, I was already ready for it to be tricky or for it to be difficult, but I wasn't necessarily ready for it to be as difficult as it was. Now, the first one, I completely messed it up. Completely messed it up. I don't know what I was thinking there. I tried to rewind and fix my mistake, but didn't really end up working out that way. So on to attempt number 2. I had a little bit more of an idea of what I was doing this time, but still didn't quite know how long the course was. I later found out that the course is actually very short, and so you have to be on your game 100% of the time. Now, the cool thing about this challenge is that you don't technically have to keep the skill chain going to earn your barrel roll. You really just have to actually complete the rotation. But as you can see there, I only completed the rotation halfway and I landed on my top, so not necessarily a complete run. However, after many, many attempts, I finally got it, and I still wasn't completely happy with this attempt because I felt like it just was really clunky and it wasn't pretty, but you know what? Functionally, I still made it work. So there was the first one. Boom, landed that. Really was hoping that I could have landed it on the road, but you know. And then this one somehow counted. I don't know how it counted, but it did. And I was like, you know what? I still have some time. I'm going to go ahead and roll with it and just see if I can manage to nail the last one. And thankfully, I did. And then we had just enough time left to go ahead and cross the line. So in that sense, I was just really happy that we ended up making it across the line, to be honest. Now, sticking with the theme of very interesting and very creative challenges, this one basically has you trying to get a hole-in-one, as it were, using a Zonda R. And I wasn't really sure what to expect when I started this challenge because this was my very first run. And, you know, I'm going along through this course and I'm thinking to myself, what is going to be waiting for me at the end of this course? And that's one of the coolest things about these Super 7 challenges is the fact that if you've never played one before, you have no idea what's waiting for you. I braked here and then I realized there was a ramp and then I realized that by braking, I scrubbed off way too much speed. But basically, the idea is to get your car to land in that giant pipe where the finish line is at the other end. And they definitely aptly named this challenge by naming it Craziest Golf. And you know, I've never been that great at golf, and I'm pretty sure that this challenge probably represents that. So, luckily, when I actually made this run, I managed to get the car into the pipe, but not with a bit of drama, not without a little bit of drama along the way, because we'll actually, as you'll see, ended up nailing the side of the pipe and just barely tumbling into the pipe itself. So definitely a lucky shot on my end, and I would definitely have to get the speed dialed in if I wanted it to be, you know, on point every time. But I actually had a little bit too much speed that time, ran into the top of the pipe, and then just by chance, happened to fall down into the pipe itself, put it in reverse. I was like, you know what? I'm going for it. I'm not giving up. And still ended up getting it done. So that one was an interesting one for sure. And last but certainly not least, this challenge had you transforming an aerial atom into a bobsled and running it down a Forza Horizon interpretation of a bobsled course. That, to me, was potentially one of the most creative challenges that I saw in this entire Super 7 run, and I was like, I was just smiling ear to ear this whole time. I was like, if this is what people are going to come up with, I cannot wait to see what the rest of the community does with these tools in the future. So, and as you can see up there, that's the track we've already just come down. I mean, you're carrying loads of speed through these courses, and, you know, when you're doing a downhill course like that, the momentum you carry is incredible. So, if you guys enjoyed this early look at the Forza Horizon Super 7, make sure to let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I will see y'all next time.